Alright, hey, what's up guys? It's Roy here and got another video for you. Now with this video, this is going to be touching on some accessories that I've been picking up for my Sony a6100, which is the mirrorless camera that I've been using kind of as my daily driver for probably about the last month or so now. And one video I did, which I guess was kind of number one, was kind of a quick video on the microphone that I'm using, which is the Movo VXR10. So the microphone I'm using right now for this video just gives you a lot better audio and does a really good job, about not breaking the bank. It's a really direct competitor of the Rode Video Micro microphone, and with this one I just feel like it does a little bit better job than the Rode and is a little bit louder and also doesn't really break the bank as much. I think it was like $34.99 is what I paid for it on Amazon. So anyway, so got the volume and audio done, check. So the second thing I wanted to do was a video on something that would protect my camera. And it kind of killed two birds with one stone, and it's given the protection that I need for the camera to just give me that little bit better just comfort and use of it, but also it kind of checks another box of ease of use on the camera, and I'll explain that here in a sec. So basically what I picked up was the small rig for the Sony a6100. So I haven't really seen any videos specifically on a small rig for the Sony a6100. I've seen it for like the a6000, the a5100, blah, 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 but not the a6100 since it's the fairly newer camera that has come out in the last like 6 or 7 months or so, or maybe longer, maybe a year now for all I know. But anyways, I wanted the small rig, one for the protection, gives a little bit better grip on the camera. Even though the a6100 has an okay deep grip, it just gives you that little bit extra that to grab onto. Another nice thing about it is that you have the ability to use all the holes and all the quarter inch female receiving ends on the camera to add accessories to it. Like, for example, what I have used it for is mounting this a cold shoe to the side, still on the top, but on the side, actually right here. So that way my microphone's not blocking my screen and I have complete visibility of myself, but it's pushed to the side, so that way it's not blocking my view of me seeing the pop-up screen here. And that's one nice thing about the a6100 is it does have that articulating screen to at least pop up 180 degrees so you can see yourself. But that's the beauty about this small rig, is I can mount that microphone wherever the heck I want. I've seen a lot of people mount it on the sides. I'm not a fan of the side. I think it looks a little off. Just something about it, it just doesn't look balanced to me. So that's why I have it mounted on the top. But with the cold shoe mounts that I bought, it came with two. I think it was like $9.99 if I'm not mistaken for two of them. But they just come in handy for certain things if you want to use a microphone, or for example, depending on like if you have like a little LED light that you want to use, or just whatever, you have a lot of different spots to put or to mount it to on the small rig. Another nice thing about the small rig is obviously with the Sony cameras, they've been plagued with this overheating issue. Now I really haven't dealt with the overheating issue at all on the Sony a6100. If I'm shooting in 1080, I haven't had any issues at all with overheating. I did have one minor issue with overheating when I was shooting in 4K, but I heard through the grapevine that that might be the issue if you are shooting in a long periods of time in 4K. And to be honest with you, I did. I think I videoed maybe 3 or 4 different videos, and part of it was outside, and it was probably a grand total of like 30 minutes of just constant 4K videoing, and it did get hot. Now it never shut down the camera, it just gave me that pop-up overheating little sign or symbol on my screen here, but it never turned off, which like my Sony a5100, that turned off after like 15 minutes of just 1080 recording. So anyways, but the point is that with the small rig, it's supposed to help like dissipate the heat away and kind of give the camera some breathing room a little bit, since it's kind of mounting off of the small rig. So that is something that's a nice little added bonus. Now, as far as the small rig goes as well, on the bottom, the opening where the battery goes is very well cut out. It's not blocking the battery cover or flap at all. I have complete access to the battery and the memory card with no issues at all, which I've seen some other small rigs where you have to take the small rig off to take the battery out or the memory card out, and that would be a nightmare, because literally since I picked up the small rig, it's been on my camera the whole time. Another thing that's nice is it has a magnetic key that's got a nice little cutout at the bottom of the small rig that you won't lose that, and that's actually the key that you can use instead of having to use like a dime or something, and you can unscrew and screw and tighten or loosen the 1/4 inch mel part that would screw into the bottom of your camera. So that's a nice little added bonus, is that instead of like having it somewhere like in your camera bag or whatever, it's very magnetized, it's very strong, and it will stay on, and I have not had one issue with it coming off. But it's just nice to have that quick access to it if I do want to take the small rig off for whatever reason. But once again, you can use like a dime or something like that, or a flathead screwdriver if you wanted to. So whatever. Now, as far as the other parts that go with it, the small rig does give a little bit of a raised up on top of the camera, but once again, it's not blocking the screen at all. If I lift it up and looked, the only thing that's blocking with my view right now is just kind of the bit of the bottom of the screen where I can see my shutter speed and my aperture and all that. But it's just because the way I have my camera on my desk here is it's blocking it. But if I was like vlogging or something like that, it's not going to affect my screen at all. But either way, I really like this. The side of it, it's not blocking my side panel there that I can pop open to get access to my HDMI or where I plug in my microphone, anything. So I would highly recommend this rig if you are wanting something for your Sony a6100. It just gives you so much extra versatility on your camera. Like I said, you can literally add an LED light, you can add your microphone to it, and then you could even add, I mean, you can add whatever you want to it, I guess. And then on top of that too, at the bottom, there's just so much easy access points to mount it to like a tripod or something like that. So it's just a really good investment. I believe I picked mine up for around $39.99 on Amazon, but I'll make sure to add a link in the description so you see exactly the price I paid. And then, like I said, for the additional 2 cold shoe mounts that I got that came with this, the screws to screw into the side, those were, I believe, $9.99 for a 2-pack. So yeah, so definitely worth the investment on those. So all in around $50. I think it's money well spent, excuse me. But comment down below, guys, if you have the Sony a6100, let me know how you're liking it. Like I said, I really do like it. There's some things I miss on the Canon M50 that I had, but I think the pros with the a6100 weigh out those. But let me know if you have a small rig, or if you have another variant of these Sony A lines, like the a5100 or a6000 or a63, a6400, 6500, 6700, all of them, they all look the same anyways. Let me know if you do have a small rig, and if you do, how do you like that small rig on your camera? Because like I said, for me, I've seen videos where people are kind of bad-mouthing the small rig because just the design was a little goofy, but I feel like with this one it's spot on. So but yeah, guys, if you like what you see, I highly encourage that you check out my other videos, and hopefully you subscribe. That would be a tremendous blessing to have you a part of my YouTube family here. But other than that, have a blessed day and be safe out there.